And we are back on Real Talk. I got Jimmy here who's outdressing me, and we're just going to talk some realness here. So, look, first of all, thanks for coming, man.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Dude, my pleasure, man. You're looking amazing. So
that's the French side, you know.
I know, it's the French side, and you got the cravat going on. It's a great look. But look, I was curious. You know, usually people come to see me because they got a problem that they want some help with. So what's going on with you?
Yeah,
what are you struggling with right now?
I would say that I feel that what's preventing me from achieving my goals, it can be traced back to my childhood, because I can really feel it. You know, in one of your questionnaires, you were asking the questions, and I was like, well, I feel it's like you know, because I'm from a poor background and a little bit complicated, since that I was kind of scheduled for abortion, but then my godmother saved me and convinced my mother not to do it. And my godmother is a very important person in my life, and so is the neighbor I grew up with. So my godmother is the one that gave me all the support into, I believe you can do it. I'm praying for you, you can do it. And my neighbors, these old men and women who passed away, unfortunately, a few years ago, with their 8 children, welcomed me and my brothers into their realm. And they represent, especially the husband, he represents the passion I found, because it's because of him that I realized that dancing was my passion. Because imagine the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It's 28 degrees every single day. It's hot. People like music.
Yeah.
And people listen to music everywhere. You take a bus, music. You go take a taxi, music. You go to a place, it's music. So every time they'll have a party, my neighbor with 8 children, he will invite his brothers who also had 8 children, and they will have great parties. And when I was in the middle of that, as a 5 years old, I was like, wow, this is something like incredible. You know, you see the smile from here to here, and you realize, wow, this is something that is very strong. So I always...
So you always love music, and so and I've seen your dance moves. You got some great moves as well.
Cheers.
And so, all right, that's good to know about your background, and it's good to know about the poor upbringing and the fact that you almost weren't here, and that's important to talk about. What are you trying to do right now? Because I want to find out what that is, and then I want to see if we can unpack some of this emotional stuff as well.
So basically, what I want to do right now is kind of bring this concept of dance and body movement into people, because a lot of people don't realize how powerful this is. You know, and basically it's my kind of objective to put dance on top of this kind of well-being food chain, as I said, because it's at the moment it's in the bottom. It's really not there, especially in mainland Europe. People don't really see the connection, but I know the connection, and I can tell you, I'm doing yoga. I used to do some box training, etc., running, all this kind of stuff. There's nothing as powerful as dance in terms of taking you from this stage up to all this stage. Okay, good. All right, gotcha.
So you want to try to see if you can teach this dance piece as the wellness piece. Look, I got experience with this because 3 years ago I started breakdancing, and when I first started, I was embarrassed dancing in front of the mirror because I grew up in this Western background and I was introverted. But I found that expressing through my body was so powerful, and now I'll dance in front of the whole gym. I don't care, and I love it, and it's changed me. So I see where you're going with this. But I know you have a bunch of goals. Like you want to do all these big lofty things, but you haven't done them. So there's something that's stopping you, and that's why I wanted to have you in today, because something's stopping you from getting through to those things. And I want to know, what is it? I think it's fear. And is it fear of being judged? Were you told as a child that you couldn't do things? And is that poor mentality now clouding your brain? Talk to me about that.
Well, then I come back to the poor mentality, because it's very strong. I mean, another component also is that I always saw school when I was young as a way for me out a bit of poverty. But unfortunately, I now realized that only a few years back is to go to school, I used to almost beg the bus drivers to take me to school, and I'll pay them later. And this always stuck into my mind. So this kind of poverty is like really ingrained. So every time I said, I'm going to reach this, and I'm talking about making great money or stuff like that, I'm like, something in me said, hey, but you're poor.
You're poor.
Yeah, but you're poor. Maybe you designed to be poor all your life. Maybe from now until the end, you're going to be poor. Because even if I have I have a good education, I have a master's degree, etc., I still feel like that doesn't matter. It's a bit like this doctor you had on your podcast who said the first 7 years of your life is already defined, or etc.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel it, so even if I'm doing a lot of things to try to change that right now. So that's why I want to break through. Right. And another point compared in regard to your questions is, sure, there is a bit of fear, because I've always been someone who's shy in terms of meeting people face to face.
Okay.
If you see me communicating well with you, it's because I train it. If you see me dancing well, it's because I train it.
Right.
So I'm confident in that.
That's good. So you know you can train it, which is really important. Look, this poor mentality is really powerful, and also it's not just the money that's in a poor mentality. It's this lack of risk taking. And look, I mean, I saw all these big plans you want to do, and they're massive. But the reason they're so massive is because I feel like you haven't pulled the trigger on many of those things, and so that's stopping you. So this emotional kid that you're still living with, and I get. We think that self-esteem is built in the first 7 years of your life, is stopping you.
Yeah.
And so it's an emotional thing that gets you to kind of either self-sabotage or not follow through on your ideas.
Yeah.
Because I think deep down you think either no one's going to do what I say, or people are going to judge me, and I'll be embarrassed. Tell me about, are you someone that feels embarrassed? Are you worried about what other people think?
I would say that it's funny enough, because one of my background is I moved to China a few years ago, and I kind of push away people.
Okay.
So I guess there is a reason also why I did it, which is not be judged, because when I push people away, somehow I have this kind of freedom to do what I want. Because
but how are you going to help people if you're pushing them away, Jimmy?
That's the thing.
You want to help. Say you want to help men with dance, right? You want to help the well-being. I've seen the way you dance, man. You're amazing when you dance. You express yourself in an incredible way. And yet, part of you pushes people away because are you not comfortable with that human connection? Are you feeling like an introvert? And that's stopping you from doing what you want to do.
Well, actually, I realized the dance was a strong component for this shyness, actually.
Yeah.
This dance is like, when I'm dancing, I'm not afraid of anything or anybody.
Okay.
Because first of all, I look.
So you can be that Superman when you need to be, but then when the music stops, you're unable to fulfill your dream, but that's also important to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about that little kid that used to be you. I mean, think about inspiring him to get out of that life of poverty and to express himself. I mean, you're actually trying to teach your own inner kid.
Yeah.
And yet you can't do it. And so the first part of my system, Resist and Transform, the first is acknowledge and resist. So we have to acknowledge where we're at and why we're doing that. And so, you know, I need you to really understand what happens to you when you stop moving forward on your actions. Like, are you thinking of that little boy? Like, what is the thing that stops you from doing things?
I'll say that one part of it is like, you know, this word that a lot of people use is procrastination, etc.
Yeah. Okay.
I decided, by the end of last year, 2019, there are things I wanted to do, I didn't achieve them.
Yeah.
And I said this year, one of my objectives is to take 3,650 quick decisions, so about 10 quick decisions a day for a year. And the reason for that is because a few days ago, you invited me to this platform.
Right.
And the old me of last year, I would have looked at this and said, it's interesting, but I would have put something in between it, and I wouldn't have come here.
All right. Yeah.
But when I received it, I read it, and when the thought came to me, I said, stop, just say yes. I said yes, and I sent it out, and I didn't think about the consequences. So then when your guy said, oh, give us a bit of an introduction, I said, okay, I'll do it tonight.
Okay,
and I kept doing it. So that changed my word, you know, instead of being down there, I'm a bit there.
Okay. This is good, because perfection and procrastination, it's fear.
Sure.
It's fear. And I see this with my students all the time in my accelerators. People think perfection is some beautiful thing and I want it to be perfect. It's just fear because you're worried about someone saying something bad about you, being judged. And that comes from a childhood, parents not loving you. You know, you grew up, you almost didn't make it into this world. So you probably felt like your parents didn't want you there. So this goes deep into you, and that's manifesting yourself in this adult behavior. You know, I'm trying to think of a way that we can speak to that young boy who was embarrassed to go on that bus and ask for money. Like, how can we speak to that young boy and tell him that he is valuable? Like, if you could speak to yourself at 7 years old, what would you tell him?
Well, I would tell him.
Can you see him?
Yeah, I can see him a lot.
Yeah?
And
Where is he? What country was he in?
He's in Guadeloupe,
In Guadeloupe?
the French Caribbean. It's
French
about
Caribbean.
28 degrees
Okay.
Celsius. He's in the.
How does he feel? How does he feel as a boy?
If he feels really inferior.
Inferior, okay.
Because, and I will say it is partly because of somehow the way my mother will talk about me. So, for example, she will.
Tell me.
Out of two people, she will always say, "Okay, Jimmy is not the good one." You know,
Okay.
not I'm a bad guy, but more like he's not as smart, you know,
Okay.
or he's not as strong.
How'd that make you feel?
I feel I carried it, you know, because I always tried to prove myself. You know,
Right.
I studied in mainland France, so I tried to prove myself, and also the way I look at people outside Guadeloupe was all of them are smarter than me. French people from mainland France are smarter. English people are smarter. These guys, I always thought this, you know.
Okay.
So
let me get back to the emotion real quick. How does it make you feel when your mom said that? And how did you feel about her when she said that?
at the time, I didn't feel. I guess I was absorbing it, but
When
because
you think about it now, how does
yeah,
it make you feel?
well, it of course doesn't make me
Does
feel
it make you mad at her or not?
a bit.
Okay.
It makes me mad, but at the same time, I feel, you know what? Maybe it's a way I need to break this chain because
Yeah.
maybe she's, you know, her background also is not a simple thing because she was kicked out of her family home at a pretty early age. So it's not like she had a simple thing. So I probably tried to find a way to break this kind of cycle.
Okay. Let me try an
And,
exercise, and I appreciate that because look, recently I spoke to my mom about the divorce my parents had when I was 7 years old, and in my mind, I was the victim. But when I talked to her, I realized she was a victim too. Like everybody was a victim because everybody had hurt feelings, and everybody had to, you know, all these. Everybody, my dad as well. Everybody was miscommunicating, emotional, angry, hurt, sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought they were the bad people, but they weren't. They were just in this
this
situation.
is true, yeah.
So I'm just, if you could say something to your mom when you're 7 years old and she's saying, yeah, Jimmy's not the good one. If you could talk to her right now, I just want to see if we can find that emotional piece. Like, what would you say to her? What would you want that 7-year-old boy to say to your mom when she said that?
I'd probably be rude to her, not in a hateful way,
Okay.
but I.
What if you could say, talk to her right now?
I would
What if you
say-
what would you say? Would you say, Mom, I'm actually really, really good. I'm really smart. I'm really enthusiastic. One day I'm going to be a great dancer, and I'm going to actually be an amazing son, and I'm going to inspire millions of people around the world with my ideas and my dance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you tell that to her?
I will tell her, first of all, you don't know what you're talking about. That's the first thing I will tell her.
Okay.
That's the rude part.
Yeah.
Because
that's you being angry.
yeah,
I
that's
can
me.
feel it.
That's
okay.
me being angry. I
Good.
say
Okay,
you
sometimes
don't
you need to get
don't know
angry.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And for sure she doesn't know.
Right.
You know.
Of course not. And she brought that because she had probably baggage.
Exactly.
Maybe her father told her the same thing.
Probably.
Probably.
Likely her mother and father told her the same thing because from what I've learned, she was kicked out by her mother. So the whole situation was not good. She had to move out of town when she had me. When she was pregnant.
Okay.
So
There's a lot going on.
a lot of
But
things.
still,
going on.
you still would tell her in an angry way, that's not true.
Yeah, because
Okay.
unless I kind of shock her into stopping the flow of telling me it's bad, then she will brush out
Okay.
what I'm saying. So I will be first, you don't know.
Okay.
Then let me explain to you.
Okay.
You know, that would be more the soft way. Because, you know, the thing I was really scared of, because I started really doing this dancing back in 2010. I have a marketing background. I work for multinational companies, etc. So nothing that looked like dancing.
Right.
But it's just like this dancing kept saying, you need to come back here. I'm keep calling you. Why are you not coming? So I said, okay, I'm going to give you everything. So I changed job, changed career, and I gave everything. So the person I was scared to tell was my godmother, because she's a very strict lady, very kind of religious person. And hopefully, and obviously, she brought me also up. So she gave me some strong education. So when you talk about Dan Pena, and Dan Pena talk about his dad, think about his dad as a lady. So there's many like that she is.
Okay.
But then when I told her what I was really doing about a year ago, 18 months ago, she told me, no, go for it.
Okay.
You can do it. I'm praying for you. Just go for it. And I realized why she was always the one who gave me this support. Every time I had a degree, she was the one praising me, praising me in front of everybody.
Okay, so she gave you the support, which is good. I just want to finish up with this last thing with your mom and when you were you, because I want to try to get closure of this so we can just understand that emotion. So you would say, no, Mom, you're right. And then you would say, but what? Would you say, Mom, I forgive you for doing this stuff because I know you're not trying to create this sad boy, because she's created this sad boy that had all these insecurities that made your life really hard, right? I mean, you're a successful man despite all that stuff, right? Do you ever think, well, it would have been like if she would have just loved you and said you're the best and said, Jimmy, I support you and all that stuff?
I mean, plus she wasn't the only one. You know, there are always people. The thing is, a lot of people expected me to be smart because I was okay in school, but they never showed me the way. So I had to be okay in school by myself, kind of pick up things.
Right, so last thing I want you to say is if you could talk to that 7-year-old Jimmy right now. So your mom just said to you, you're not good, you're not the good one, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do this. If you could just grab him right afterwards, what would you say to him instead? Say that you're the father. What would you say to him?
I said, don't listen to this. You can do it. And besides, actually, I want you to fail into doing it.
Yeah.
Because basically, that's what I feel is the main drawback. I learned it with dancing, but then I know from a business point of view, when you go meet people and people shut the door in front of you or say no, or it still hurts because you're meeting in people, you bring in something.
So you would tell him,
yes, go and fail into doing it.
How would that make him feel, a young boy?
It make feel great.
And how would that change you as a young boy?
I will try a lot. I would have tried a lot earlier, and I will have
Tried earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
Tried what?
Try anything that came into my mind, but also especially even when I was working in office, I wouldn't have seen. I wouldn't have had a ceiling that was so low. I would say, yeah, let me just go there.
Okay, would it change the course of your life?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
All right, so again, first part of my program is this acknowledge and resist. So we acknowledge where you came from. I'd like to just say to Mom, you're wrong, but I forgive you for everything you've done, because I don't want to bring any anger with Mom, because that's not going to help you.
Sure.
So Mom, we forgive you. We understand you dealt with a really difficult childhood. You didn't mean it.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff she told you maybe helped you become, so determined.
For sure.
Right? It toughened you up.
For sure.
But it also means now you got to resist this temptation to feel like not the best, the poor kid, because that makes you play small. Because the resilience, I know, I can see you're a resilient guy, but it means, like you said, your ceiling's low.
Yeah.
So that means every day we got to resist that temptation to play small and to sabotage yourself and to do things that aren't ever going to actually happen. So that means what we have to do is purge all that mentality of you not thinking about that you can do all of these things. And we need to replace it with something super powerful. And so what I need you to do is I need you to do two things. First of all, the big part of my system is something I call pay price to action. And pay price to action is when you commit to doing something that you can't go back on. I always talk about, there was that guy Cortez that took the ships, I think, from Spain into the New World, right? You know, the New World.
The Chinese did the same also.
And he burned the ships in front of his men and said, we're going to make it here. And they were like, what are you doing? He's like, we have to make it. And I feel like with you, you haven't burned the ships yet. Now, the quick decisions was a great start. I like the quick decisions because it doesn't give you a chance to procrastinate. But unless you say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to pay a price to action, which means I'm going to do something that is irreversible or something that has consequences if you don't continue, then you're never going to do it. Now, you said you quit your job and you went all in on this stuff. It needs to be something to where you tell the world, I'm going to do this. So if you're going to write the book, you're going to write the book. If it means you're going to graduate 20 men on your new dance program in the next 3 months, you have to put it out there, and there's no reversal, which means every time, because what's going to happen is, even though you've acknowledged this, you're resisting the old mentality, still, 10 days from now, you're going to have a bad day, it's going to be raining outside, you're going to get, someone's going to say something nasty, and you're going to go back into poor Jimmy that Mom used to yell at. And that means you're going to start playing small, and you're going to go repeat the same patterns you've been repeating for 10 years or 20 years, where you have all these great ideas, you have all this great energy, and you're not doing any of them. And then you feel like you feel useless, and you're like, I'm no good. So you're gonna, and that's why the pay price to action helps, because it forces you to keep going. Well, I told everyone I was going to do this, and I like some type of a pay price to action, a burning the ship. I like it when people put money down on something because they can't go back on it. So what is your pay price to action to make sure you're going to go forward? That's what I want to know.
Well, at the end of last year, I was really unhappy because with myself, of course. Because even if I'd push trying to sell my ideas and projects to people, I said, okay, I'm too much dependent on the outcome from outside. But can I do something from inside where I am empowered for it? And then I came with a summary of my goal for 2020. And some of them are like, I'm going to create 100 videos. Because I said last year, I did a lot of choreographies, but I didn't do any videos to publish it. So it means that 3 videos a week where I publish it, etc.
I like the videos, and I think that's a good start, but I also want more. I mean, don't you want to teach men? We need you to get a success story. I need you to train these men and get them to express themselves with dance. How can we actually get people to actually do that?
So
that's different than a video.
For sure. But this one is one struggle in terms of how to find it, because I taught people before, but I want to find a way to kind of teach kind of a good number of people and let them see this thing. So the video itself is not just like a self things that is just inner, but it's a bit to kind of circumvent the things that I cannot control and see whether I can have some advertisement through the videos where I can attract people to do it.
These are public videos, right?
Yes, things I want to publicize, of course. Yeah.
But we still need a product or something that you can teach people or sell people. That's what you need, right? Because that gets you on the way, that whether that builds a business or creates customers.
So the videos will be part of this. So it's not going to just be me dancing, but it's going to be like a program I give you. Yeah.
That's a goal.
That's a goal, yeah.
How about 20 clients in the next 3 months?
Well, I put for August that I would meet and sell to 500 business executives, which is going to be tough, but that's one goal I have.
But also, I don't like August because it's 6 months. I like a 30-day goal. Do you have any students right now for your program?
No, because I've decided.
So this is what I want. I want 5 paying students in 30 days. That's not that much, but it means they have to buy into you and your program. It means you have to say, look, I am going to offer you this, okay? So it's going to have to, you're going to have to create some type of program. I teach this in my Business Accelerator, but you can easily learn it. You can watch my stuff for free on my website. And it'll show you how to structure something that you're going to give them. Learn how to express yourself in dance that makes you a more powerful executive, a better husband, a better leader, and it also makes you more physical. Jimmy's going to walk you through my 4-step process. There's going to be a video for each one. It costs 100 pounds or 100 euros. That's a client, and that means you're going to help that person. And here's one more thing I'll say before we wrap up. When someone pays you money for something, it means they're going to show up and transform, which means you've actually done something. You can put out videos, they can be watched 10,000 times, but people just watch a video and they don't actually do anything. I think if you do this, first of all, you'll feel like, wow, I really did this. You'll have clients that can give testimonials. You'll learn so much from these guys that you'll realize, wow, actually I want to change it. I want to do it this. It will become your executive program. But I feel like if you do this 30-day goal, you'll actually have something that you can feel proud of and you can build on. How does that sound to you?
That sounds good. I think that's one thing that will push me forward to do it. I've done teaching last year, etc., even beginning of this year. But I think maybe I will change these 5 paying students by maybe 5 executive paying students, because it's a little tougher and
do that.
And having these people.
The last part is accountability. How can we hold you accountable to make this change? Can you tell your social channels, I'm getting 5 executives, and then I just spent time with Brian Rose, and by the end of the month, I'm going to have them here. I'm going to show videos of them. Just, I need someone to hold you accountable, because as humans, we respect the judgments of other people. Sometimes that hurts us, but sometimes it can help us. They always call it peer pressure when you're a kid, when people make you do bad things. I like peer pressure to make me do good things. So when I told everybody I was doing a TED Talk, I felt tons of pressure to do a TED Talk, but it made me do it. If you tell the world I'm going to have these 5 executive clients, I feel like you're going to force yourself to do it, which means in a month from now, if you have 4, you'll have to say, look, I didn't get 5, I was wrong, I got 4, but now I'm going to try to do more in the next 30-day period. So find a way to hold yourself accountable, okay? Now look, if you can do this in 30 days, 5 executive clients, and then the next 30 you can go more, and the next 30 you can go more, tell me, how does this make your life look in 3 months from now? Do you start seeing the creation of something you're proud of?
Definitely, because from last year when I approached customers, I went to their door and presented to them, I felt that some of them had interest, but I think what was lacking was kind of the track record locally. I mean,
Right.
in UK, so they could say, okay, the
Right.
other guys did it, so I can do it.
Okay.
So of course, if I do that, I will build a track record where people will say, okay,
Yeah.
someone else believe him, so I can believe him. So then I can build on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then it's also a business as well. Okay, also, but also doesn't give you any excuses. They probably weren't
Yeah.
thinking about the track record, but
Sure.
you're thinking that. And remember, the last thing I'll say is this: your subconscious is constantly working against you.
For sure.
Based on your background, but also all humans, we're always talking ourselves out of things. So again, resistance training, every day you're going to have to acknowledge that your brain is trying to talk you out of these things.
Sure.
You know that, so
Yeah.
you're making the quick decisions, 30-day goals, talking positive to yourself about this stuff, forgiving everything in your past, and acknowledging it made you grit, give you a lot of grit, made you work hard,
Yeah.
but also acknowledging that it makes you play small and sometimes live in fear, and powering through that no matter what. Pay the price to action, be accountable. I honestly think the next 3 months will be transformative for you.
Yeah.
But it's got to be specific results. Get
Yeah,
those
yeah,
results,
yeah.
and I think a bunch of things will happen. Once you feel a little bit of this momentum, you'll start getting a ton.
Yeah.
All right?
I definitely believe that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need you to do this. I need you to write me an email
Okay.
and let me know the 30-day goals that you have by end of the day. And then I want you to write me something in 30 days and say, Brian, these are the names of the 5 executive clients. Get those clients. 30 days will go by fast.
Yeah.
But 1 every 6 days, you can get these guys. You can reply to comments in your videos. You create videos. I think that's great. But land these clients no matter what. Because if you can get 5 in a month, it means the next month you could get 10, the next month you could get 20, and pretty soon you have a real business, you're a real practitioner, you've got case studies, and now you're living the dream.
Yeah.
So let's do this, Jim.
Yeah. It makes
Look, man,
sense.
you've got great
Perfect.
energy. I appreciate you being honest about your past.
Thank you.
You're connected with those emotions. I think you've resolved them. And now you know that you have to have a specific game plan, and that's where you're going to be successful.
Sure.
And
I think
you can,
that's
man. I think
oh,
you can be.
I feel I can, because it's like you feel this this feeling is still a little bit, you're cracking into it, but then there's always something that pull you back. So maybe there's
Always.
this overcoming that needs
Yeah.
to happen, and then
Always, and that's why I call what I do resistance training. Even every day I get up, I got resistance pulling me back. I got things that are trying to sabotage me every day.
Sure,
Part of me is like, Brian, I stopped drinking 2 years ago. Come on, bro, we don't need to do that anymore.
yeah.
Part of me says, oh, this. Part of me says doing this. I got to resist it all every day and stay focused. And I got short-term goals as well.
yeah.
If I don't stay on those, I can't be proud of myself, and I can't feel good about myself. So you're struggling with something, I struggle with it, everybody struggles with it.
Of course.
But now we have an action plan, and when life throws you all those emotional things, you can just power through it.
Yeah.
All right? So look, I'm excited, man. Keep me posted on your success.
Sure, I'll do that.
And let's check back out in 30 days and see how you did, and then see if we can up the goals
Sure,
from here.
that would be great. I think that's a good. So honestly, it's not bad, because I'm kind of accountable in front of
Yeah, in front of these people as well, right?
watching.
Yeah.
So
So
it
how do
cannot
these
give
people
me
follow your
some-
videos? How can they follow you on social?
So basically, they can go on my website, which is ekagraji. So it's ekagra-ji.com,
Okay.
and it's the same for Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, good. All right, we'll put the link below, and then find the video on YouTube and put a comment below so
Sure,
they can
sure,
find you.
sure.
Let's hold him accountable. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I think actually when I came here, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew it was going to be positive, because it started with a positive mindset where I said, you can say, yes, just go there. Don't think about it, just go there. And I think that the fact that you added something else, which, to be honest, I know I have to do. It's not like I don't know. I know I have to do it, but because you kind of put a seal of accountability onto it, so where I have to be accountable for it, then it's kind of a very positive things, actually, to have come here and have that from you, actually. So
Okay.
I'm really appreciated.
All right, good, man. Use this. You remember this moment, and let's
Sure.
just push forward from here. I
Let's do
appreciate
it.
you coming on.
Thank
Jimmy.
you for your invitation. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
All
Thanks for
right,
your
follow
time.
this man. Keep him
Cheers.
accountable. If you want to come join me on Real Talk, it's londonreal.tv/Real Talk. Do out a quick little survey, and hopefully we'll see you here in the coming weeks. Hold him accountable. Thank you, Jimmy. See you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.